For my Hidden Figure presentation, I'll be speaking about a group of women that joined the Mexican Revolution. They were known as soldaderas, or women soldiers, but for many they became known as las Adelitas. The name Adelitas was a term of endearment that came from the stories about a certain feminista of the revolution. Her name was Adela Velarde Perez, hence the name Adelita. Adela was born on September 8th of the year 1900 in the state of Chihuahua, Ciudad Juarez to be more precise. She came from a wealthy family during the Porfirio Diaz dictatorship. Mexico was not pleased with the economic policies of this regime. There was an unequal distribution of land, deeply entrenched economic inequality, and unfair institutions to the agrarian class. In 1910, Francisco Madero challenged Diaz, but the election was fixed, and before Madero could rise in protest, he was captured. Madero escaped to Texas, where he crossed back into Chihuahua to take command of the Revolutionary Army and enlisted Francisco Villa as his general. In 1911, Diaz resigned. Madero won the presidency but found resistance from not keeping his promise about land reforms. The instability caused by rebellions from the south, led by Emiliano Zapata, and from the north, led by Villa, made Madero vulnerable to attacks upon his presidency. In 1913, Victoriano Huerta staged a coup and proclaimed himself the President of Mexico. This sparked the unity of revolutionaries in the north and south, and all were called to arms against Huerta. Farmers and gente del pueblo joined the revolutionary armies of Chihuahua. Wives followed their husbands, mothers followed their sons, and a 13-year-old Adela Velarde Perez left her family to later enlist in Villa's depleted rebellion. As a teenager, Adela had a gift for caring for the sick. Against the strong disapproval of her parents, she left the comforts of her home to join the Mexican Association of the White Cross. Taking the train to help, Adela received training by Leonor Villegas, who was the head nurse of the White Cross. An interesting fact is that the Red Cross refused to treat rebel fighters, so the White Cross was created to be neutral and treat all the wounded. Adela was among many women that joined the rebel force. Women that cooked, women that took care of each other's children, women that took over their husbands' jobs like farming. These were military camps that were not pleasant at all for women. Some women were forced to be there. Some were victims of rape. Some were there to seek revenge for the murder of a son or husband, and some just wanted to fight for the land that they have lost. They wore across their chest bullet belts so that when the fight began, they were ready to help carry the ammunition. They carried rifles. They wore men's clothing to disguise their vulnerability. They were heroes among them. To mention a few, Hermina Galindo played an important role in the army. Carmen Cerdan had a special ability of getting her hands on supplies for the troops. Angela Jimenez, who preferred to be called Angel, was an expert with explosives. Amelia Robles, whose talent was with a pistol, earned her the rank of coronel. And Petra Herrera, who was Villa's organizer, she caused a blackout in the Battle of Torreon in 1914 so that Villa could get the upper hand. She never got recognized by Villa, so she created her own army of soldaderas, 1,000 strong. The women de la Revolución made it possible to endure 10 years of fight after fight. But the hidden figure in this bloody story is the one that gave them all the name Adelitas. Adela was there to tend to the wounded, to those soldaderas and soldados that were in excruciating agony. She was a healer on the battlefield. In truth, Adela was beautiful and respected wherever she went. She attracted the attention of colonels and sergeants. One in particular, could not leave her side. His name was Antonio Gil del Rio Armenta. Sargento del Rio and Adela fell in love, and during this 1 year romance, he would serenade her as she would come and go on the train of infirmary. The song was a corrido that he composed for her, and to this day remembers the life of the original Adelita. The love of her life got killed soon after in battle, but not without leaving her with a son. Adela continued to help the wounded until the revolution ended in 1924. In 1941, the Secretary of National Defense awarded her the Revolutionary Merit Award. In 1961, the Mexican Congress approved a pension for her bravery and actions while serving in the Mexican Army. And in 1962, Adela was named a member of the Mexican Legion of Honor. She married in 1965 and died on September 4th, 1971, while living in Texas. There are women soldiers in every war. In the Sandinista Army of Nicaragua, in the Patagonia of Chile, in the maquiladoras of Juarez, in the barrios, in the schools, and at the workplace. Women go where healing is needed, although they are amidst the most dangerous of places, but that is where the spirit of revolution takes them. You cannot change something from the outside where it is safe. You dive in like Ana Teresa Fernandez did in the cenote. In the words of the Mexican writer Elena Poniatowska, without them, there was no Mexican Revolution. They kept the land alive and fertile.